Okay, so what we're going to do today is we're going to go over the quiz that we just took so that you can do your quiz corrections. So go ahead and follow along. So we have number one, part one, angles of polygons. Number one says, what is the sum of the degrees of the interior angles? So our keywords here are sum. So let's just remember that, sum. That means all of them together, not just one or two of them, all of them. So it says 19 guns, so that means our n is going to equal 19. So we're going to use our formula, n minus 2 times 180. Okay, oh, interesting. All right, so we have 19 for n minus 2 times 180. And 19 minus 2 is 17 times 180. Now, even if you don't know what that is off the top of your head, we can go to our calculator and we can say 17 times 180. Just enter 3060. So let's just go back. So it's 3060. And that's going to be the sum of the interior angles. All right, so number two says, if the sum of the interior angles of a polygon is 1800 degrees, how many sides does it have? So in this case, we are using still our formula, let's put on a pen, S equals n minus 2 times 180. And so this I'm going to solve for n. So in this case, it says the sum of the interior angles is 1800. So S is 1800 equals n minus 2 times 180. Right, and let's just go ahead and divide both sides by 180. And then that gives us n minus 2 equals 10. And we're going to add 2 to both sides. So n is equal to 12. So it's a 12-sided figure. Number 3 says, what is the measure of an interior angle of a regular nonagon? Keyword here is an interior angle. So we want to make sure we only care about one. So it's going to stick with our highlighter. Just bring our pen back up. Just underline an interior angle. And regular. So regular means they're all the same, and we only want one. Nonagon means there's 9 sides. So first we need to find the sum of the interior angles. So n minus 2 times 180. N is 9. So that's going to be 9 minus 2 times 180. So that's going to be 7 times 180. And it's going to equal our sum. So let's look at our calculator. 180 times 7 is 1260. Okay, but that's the sum. We wanted 1, so what we're going to need to do is divide it by the number of angles. So we're going to divide that by 9. We get 140. So each of the angles inside a regular nonagon is 140 degrees. All right, so for number 4, Just as what is the sum of exterior angles of a 25-sided figure? Guys, this one was a general knowledge question. The answer is 360 no matter what. So the answer to this one is 360 degrees. Every single one of them was 360 degrees. So that leads us to number 5. It says, what is the measure of each exterior angle? Each of a regular decagon. Decagon tells me that n is going to equal 10. And to find the sum of each exterior angle, we're going to take the exterior angles of 360 divided by n, which is 10. And that tells me that each exterior angle is 36 degrees. All right, for number 6, it says find the value of x. So first what we're going to do is we're going to find out how many sides this figure has. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So in this case, n equals 7. So we're going to find the total of the sum of the interior angles. So we have n minus 2 times 180. And n minus 2 is 7 minus 2. And so that means 5 times 180. So let's go ahead and find out what that is. So we have 5 times 180. That's 900. So S equals 900. So that's the total interior angles. But we have 6 interior angles given to us, and we're looking for the 7th. And it's not a regular heptagon, so they're not all the same. So we're going to subtract the total of the interior angles that they gave us. So let's go ahead and add those all together. All right, so the interior angles we're given are 125 degrees, 119, 117, 145, 133, and 140. So 125, 119, 117, 145, 133, 140. And we get 779. So I'm going to write that here, 779. And so when we subtract 779 from 900, we get 121. So x equals 121. All right, number 7, we have a regular octagon, and they've given us one angle is measured as 16x plus 23. So first let's find the measure of one interior angle of a regular octagon. So that's going to be n is going to be 8. And then we're going to have 8 minus 2 times 180. So let's verify that one into our calculator. So n minus 2, 8 minus 2 is 6 times 180. Okay, that's 1880. And we will find one angle, so let's divide it by 8 sides, 8 angles, and that gives me 135 degrees. So each interior angle is going to be 135. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 16x plus 23, and I'm going to set that equal to 135. Subtract 23 from each side, and I get 16x equals 5 minus 3 is 2, 3 minus 2 is 1, 112. Then we need to divide. 112 divided by 16 is 7. So divide by 16, and x equals 7. Alright, so number 8 is going to take us through our knowledge of parallelograms. So let's go ahead and mark our givens. So first of all, it says given that JM equals 27. So that's this one right here. We're going to mark a little tag mark here. And KL is congruent to that. So that's 27. And so therefore that's 27. And then ML is 16. That's the one down here at the bottom. So let's go ahead and mark that in blue. Alright. And JL is 46. So again, JL, that's going to be the whole thing across. The whole thing is 46. And NK is 15. So let's do that one. And let's do that in orange. NK is the little part. That's 15. Alright, so let's go ahead and do the sides first so we can get these through. So KL matches JM. So KL is going to be 27. Alright, ML is 16, which is going to correspond to JK. So JK is 16. And then we have MK, which is the full length of this diagonal. NK, which was the shorter one, was 15. MN is also 15 because their diagonals bisect each other, so the full length would be 30. All right, and finally, we have NL. NL was our green one here. And JL, the whole thing, was given to us as 46. NL is half of that. So 46 divided by 2, that's going to be 23. All right, so let's go ahead and erase some of this so that we can go ahead and do the angles. Remember, on your corrections, you're going to need to have both angles and sides marked at the same time. So the angles they give me are KLM. So remember, what you're going to want to do is make sure you follow it around. KLM. So that's the whole corner. KLM. So the whole thing is 48 degrees. Okay? So make sure you're following it. Alright, so if that end is 48 degrees, then that means this end is also 48 degrees. So don't forget that. Oh, well, might have been a little weirdness there, but who cares? Alright, so then we have JKM. So this is JK. KLM this is going to be purple. Let's go ahead and say we're going to label this one blue. JKM. So JKM. So that's this angle here. So if that angle and then alternate interior angles is that angle. Right? So let's write some of the excess. Right? And then MJL. MJL. So we're going up here and then across the middle diagonal. So that's this angle here and then this angle here. Okay. Now we gotta find each missing value. So they want us to look at JKL, JKL, JKL is this whole angle here, both of these. So remember, in any parallelogram, consecutive angles are supplementary. So all we need to do to find JKL is take 180 and subtract 48. And that's going to give us, let's look at our 180 minus 48 is 132. So JKL is 132 degrees. All right, the next angle they want us to look at is KLJ. KLJ, again, that's going along this side and up the middle. That's our green angle. So it's going to be the same as the other green angle, MJL. So that's going to be 22 degrees. Oh. All right. And then the next angle they want us to find is KMJ. KMJ. Now KMJ, if we look at this, K followed around, KMJ, that's the other part of the blue angle. So with the orange plus the blue, so the blue was 78 degrees, the full orange was 132. So to find this new little purple one that I made, the KMJ, take 132 and subtract 78. And that would give us KMJ. So let's go ahead and find that one. So it's 132 minus 78. And that gives us 54 degrees. So let's make that a little bit thicker. All right. 48 degrees. Let's go ahead and erase some of this. I didn't mean to write 48. That should have been 54. Sorry about that, guys. 54. This was still 48. All right. And finally, KJL. KJL, it's going to be the other part of this angle. So we had KJL goes down here and then up this way. So we have our 48 degree angle that was given to us up here for KLM, which is the same as JKM. And we're going to subtract the green angle, which is MJL, which was our 22 degree angle. And so 48 minus 22, 8 minus 2 is 6, and 4 minus 2 is 2, so that's going to be a 26 degree angle. I don't know what that's doing, but who cares? All right, so that's 26 degrees. Well, 26 degrees. All right. All right, guys, last two, number 9. We have, it says that PQRS is a parallelogram, so we're not proving anything. We're just going to assume that that's a true statement. And they want us to find the values of x and y. So let's go ahead and do x first because it gives me opposite sides here, and opposite sides in a parallelogram are equal. So we have 13x plus 15 is equal to 19x minus 9. And we're going to go ahead and let's subtract the 13x because we've all agreed except third period that negative x's are terrible. Third period likes the negative x's. We all know that. So third period, you know what you're going to do is to subtract the 19x and go the other way. We all know that's what you're going to do. Add 9 to both sides. And we get 24. Divide both sides by 6. And x equals 4. All right, now we're going to solve for y. Now it gives me the angle Q and angle R. And those are consecutive angles, so we're going to set them equal to 180. So we have 10y minus 37. I'm going to stick that in parentheses for you. Plus 4y plus 7 equals 180. All right. And now we're going to combine like terms. So we've got 10y and 4y. So that's going to give me 14y. And negative 37 and plus positive 7 gives me negative 30 equals 180. And now we're going to add 30 to both sides. We get 14y equals 210. Divide 210 by 14 and we get 15. Okay, so x equals 4, y equals 15. All right, last one. Determine whether the quadrilateral is a parallelogram using the method of your choice. I'm going to go ahead and stick with distance formula for now. So let's go ahead and just do a rough sketch of a parallelogram. L, M, N, and P. All right. So let's go ahead and find the length of LM. Right. So our formula is x1 minus x2 squared plus y1 minus y2 squared. Okay, and I'm going to do my L's in blue, my M's in green. All right, so we got -1, 6, and then 5 and 9. All right, 5 minus -1 is 6. 6 squared is 36. 9 minus 6 is 3. 3 squared is 9. 36 plus 9 is going to be 36 plus 9 is 45, and 45 is not a perfect square. So we're going to just leave this as square root of 45 for now. Yes, it can be simplified. No, we're not going to. Okay. All right, now we need to do NP. So I'm going to write N in that color, P in that color. This into my black pen. All right, so I got N, P, and squared. All So the x for p is -8, and the y is -2. And notice how I'm doing one point at a time instead of doing the x's and then the y's. It's easier to keep things a little bit straight this way. All right, -8 minus 0 is -8. -8 squared is 64. -2 minus 2 is -4. -4 squared is 16. 64 plus 16. 10. 80. All right, so we can see that M or LM and NP are not congruent. Opposite sides are not congruent. We could definitely say this is not a parallelogram at this point. But if you had been testing them for whether or not they were parallel, you would have to continue working. So we're going to go ahead and find out whether the other two sides are congruent, and then we'll go through and do the parallel method as well. And remember, you can also do a mix of the two methods where you compare opposite sides to see if they're both parallel and congruent. All right, so MN. Okay. Let's find the length of MN. Okay, for some reason. All right, so M is green. So that's going to be 5 and 9. And N I have as orange. That's going to be 0. No, it should be minus signs. And 2. Alright, so 0 minus 5 is -5 squared is 25. 2 minus 9 is -7. -7 squared is 49. 25 plus 49 is 74, also not a perfect square. Again, remember we're going to leave these as radicals. We can tell that the square root of 45 is not congruent to the square root of 80 and is not congruent to the square root of 74. We do not need to simplify to tell the difference there. All right, last side, LP. All right, as blue. So it's -1 and 6. And P I have as purple. And so it's -8 and -2. All right. So we have -8 minus -1. It's -7. -7 squared is 49. And then -2 minus 6 is -8 squared is 64. And 49 plus 64 is 113. So what we can see here is that none of these sides are congruent, so we can determine that no, this is not a parallelogram. But some of you probably went through and did the testing whether the sides were parallel methods, so I'm going to go through and do that real quick. All right, so now we're going to test it with the parallel line method, just so that those of you who preferred that can do that. So let's just see what the slope of line segment LM is. All right, and so remember our slope is change in y over change in x. All right, so let's do that. All right, so L is 6 and -1. M is 9 and 5. All right, so 9 minus 6 is 3. 5 minus -1 is 6. So the slope of this line is 1/2. Okay, so let's test the line across from it. And P. All right. So 2, 0. And then -2 and -8. And you'll notice how I am writing the y's right above the x's. Notice how I have the blue over the blue, the green over the green, orange over orange, purple over purple. It's to make them to where they match up with consistency. So it doesn't matter which one is x1, which one's x2 with each pair of points, so long as you're consistent. So make sure your x goes or your y goes over its corresponding x. Don't mix them up. So -2 minus 2, -4. -8 minus 0 is -8. That again simplifies to 1/2. So this line is parallel to that line. So you would have to keep going on this one. Like I said, if you chose this method, you wouldn't be able to stop with just that pair of lines. So now we have to check the other pair. So we have MN. Okay. Let's test its slope. All right, so M, our points are 9 and 5, and N, our points are 2 and 0. 2 minus 9 is -7, 0 minus 5, -5. And remember, negative over negative is positive. Simplify. And then LP. Alright, so L is 6 and -1. And P is -2 and -8. Alright, -2 minus 6. -2 minus 6 is -8. Feels weird. Is that right? Okay. And then our other is -8 minus -1. Oh, that should give me -7. So that gives me 8 over 7. So these two are not parallel. So this is not a parallelogram. All right, so you are responsible for using this information to do your quiz corrections on a separate sheet of paper. Remember, I do not accept quiz corrections on the original quiz. If you do so, I won't even look at them. Don't attempt it.